Guys, what's up? It's Dave, Mr. White LS1. Thanks for joining me tonight in the carburetorsuck.com garage. So, been working on the truck a little bit. I had to pull it inside. It's been so hot, like $115-ish, and it's just been crazy. And a couple things that I needed to do. One was my air filter action. Let me plug in my light and I'll show you what's going on here. Alright, here we go. Problem I had, as you realized before, I had like a smaller coupler that was on here, and it was connecting this piece of ABS to the mass airflow, which was doing my filter. And so I'm not sure why I did it like that on the K5. I ended up going away from that because my air filter kept falling off, and so it had fallen off on here, and so it only really fell off. You know, you're trying to cruise like 25, 30 down a dirt road, and you get that vibration, and it just stuff falls off. So on the K5, I built like a bracket that bolted here, and it kind of held it. And I wanted to do something a little bit different on this. I didn't really like that, and blah blah blah. So what I ended up doing is I took this bracket here and found a pretty good flat mounting location for that on the fender, and then it comes up and it bends. You can see the bend there, but it bends, and then it goes up underneath the clamp here, so you can see it's pretty tight. Everything's tied up, and then this slips probably like that far over that pipe, so I don't think I'm having any issues. You know, this is nice and flexible, and I think I'll be good because I want to try to go mashing down some dirt roads and see how these springs hold up. In addition to that, I got some CB issues, and so basically I wanted to go on a trail ride, and so I wanted to get my CB going, and I bought just some cheap stuff. I bought like I don't know, I didn't know anything about CBs. All I knew is before I bought this old Midland unit, and it had a magnet antenna, and it worked. You know, I didn't have any problems with it. I never had it tuned. I just used it in the Blazer, and it worked fine. And so it's been a while since I've had a CB. So I don't really know much about it, but I picked up this deal here. It is a 520. I think it's a Uniden. Yeah, it's a Uniden 520, which is a pretty decent radio from what I've seen. But I bought some Radio Shack coax, like 50 feet of it, because I didn't know where I was going to mount this sucker. And I think it's just all wrong, and I bought like this $9 5-foot Freightliner antenna, and apparently that's kind of crappy too, because the wiring, this is a new Fire Stick I got. It's a 5-footer. He's a big guy, and it's got that tunable tip that's pretty easy to tune. So I'm actually going to get it all tuned, and we'll get it figured out. However, I got to do something with this, so what I need to make sure, I got to get rid of that wire there. I got in touch with a local CB guy, and he does, you know, checks SWRs for free and kind of gives you some tips to get it going good, and then he can tune your radio and all this good stuff. He's like this old dude out of a motorhome, and he seems pretty cool. But he seems legit, and so he told me get rid of the antenna, get rid of the coax, and get you some better coax and a better antenna. So I did, and it really wasn't too expensive, and I should have probably did this in the first place. But my setup did last a little bit. It got me out on some runs, and it did work spotty. However, when I shake the truck, I can actually, like, it'll fade in and out, like, you know, like it'll get static in and out. So I'm not sure if the antenna is actually, like, the winding's broken or if it's the coax. I went ahead and picked up some new coax. Let's see where I put it down at. I wanted to show you guys. So this is some Mini 8, and apparently Mini 8 is better than, I don't know, whatever the other kind is. But I'll show you this coax here. This is 9 feet. I know some people say that 18 is like ideal. I don't know. I talked to the CB guy, said just, you know, as much as you need to get it to the unit, 12 or 9 feet. I went with 9 feet. And you can see here that the ends are soldered together, and it seems to be a pretty good piece. Now, I'll show you this action that came off of here. This is the Radio Shack stuff, and you can see, well, maybe you can't see. Let me get around and get a light so that you can see. Alright, so here's the coax that came out of here. And let's see if this will switch to like macro mode here. Give it a sec. But anyways, you can see the tip, hopefully, and it is not welded, or not welded, but not soldered. Let's see if I can, yeah, see that tip there. See how it comes out of there. Well, anyways, it is not soldered. You can see this one is soldered, so apparently it makes a pretty good difference. And you can see all this coax that I have, which is probably not helping anything in the crappy antenna, and not having the SWR meter to test it probably ain't a good idea either. So I'm gonna run this new coax up here to the fire stick, and it's kind of tall for the garage. I really should do this outside, but it's still kind of hot. But cool thing about the fire stick, it is made in the USA, El Hincho in the USA. So I dig that. And this coax, I don't know where it's made, but it does look of better quality if you put the two side by side. And the one on the right was actually cheaper than the one on the left. So, a word of the wise. Do research. I typically, whenever I do anything, especially like engine swaps or anything that I'm doing with the truck, I take like weeks and do research and figure stuff out. This, I just kind of pieced it together, and yeah, I pieced it together and didn't work out quite as well as I wanted to, but we're getting there. Replace some components with some better components, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to run this coax now, and maybe I'll back the truck out. I don't know, push it out. There's a baby sleeping, and test it out, or maybe in the morning we'll test it out. I don't know. I'm about ready to pull this sucker out and put the antenna on. When I originally wired this, I wired this to under the dash, so I did the ground that's attached to the park brake assembly, and the power was run just with a spade just into the fuse box. And I did notice I was getting a little bit of engine noise, so what I did is I don't like having stuff hanging off of my battery, so I have a pretty clean feed that just goes right into this fuse box. So I ran my power here to that fiber, and then my ground goes right here. There's a ground block on that, and the ground comes out and goes to this grounding block here. So I have good ground, good power. Hopefully I'm not going to get too much of that. It does have the ANL deal. I think it cuts that out. Some of it, it's like a noise filter or whatnot, but I did have some before, and I'm hoping that I don't have any now. So I'm gonna back this out, hook my antenna up, see if I can hear anything.
Tomatoes look pretty awful. Yeah, I had one plant that got just wasted to the ground. But then the other ones, I think they'll come back. My apple tree, there ain't an apple left on it, and if it doesn't die at shock, I'll be surprised.
Interesting, let's talk.
Well, at least nothing physically injured. Most of the other stuff could be repaired or replaced. But anyways, mister, I'll let you go back to the busy one there. I just had to vent a little bit, you know?
Alright guys, here's the antenna. And it's a 5-foot fire stick, and I figured, you know, taller is better. I've been doing some research here. And so I figured the 5-footer, it's about the same price as the 4 or whatever. So if I can get that sucker way up there above the cab, I should be in good shape. So I'll get it tuned and get it figured out and see where it goes. told you I would do my best to get you a cool sunset shot, and I don't know how much we missed it, but I'm on the kind of like the cusp of the mountain. I can't really go, this road ends here. It was a little hairy towards the end, not really bad, but just it got a little just a little tight and stuff. But it looks like this is a pretty cool campsite. There's a I just hope this wind isn't killing the camera, but the old K10 getting it done. So yeah, it looks like some people kicked back here and had a little fire, and it's pretty awesome. And seems to be holding up okay. Just got to get me down off this mountain, and then I'll hightail it home. But yeah, so check it out over here. It gets pretty. It's pretty steep, but it was interesting getting up here. But I just wanted to show you over here. Let's see if you can. Oh yeah, there you go. So there's some better vantage points going down the hill. So hopefully my GoPro on the front of the truck will get some of them. But yeah, it's pretty awesome up here. Nice and cool too. It's probably, I don't know, it's in the 80s. So a nice little spot to turn the truck around. Yeah. As long as I can get off this hill, I'll be alright. But I want to show you, come over here a little bit. Guys, that was a pretty awesome trip. Thanks for rolling with me down the mountain. I'm gonna hightail it down now. I'm just gonna adjust these lights up a little bit, but I appreciate you rolling with me. I'll get you a video up tonight. You guys take care, have a great week, and I'll do my best to get this video up for you tonight.